Yes, we're going to be sipping some cran for the rest of this one. Oh, camera's good. What's up, boys? What's up, Shark Killer? This is Killer Tim Brooks. What you know about Tim Brooks, bro? What you know? What up, Life of Sin here? What up, Paul? I had a 350, 355 yesterday in my Fade Hartenstein line. I don't think I didn't play NBA yesterday. NBA was my day off. Sundays was my day off. Played a little baseball early on yesterday. But man, how we doing, man? What's up, chat? Happy Monday. If you guys weren't part of the baseball breakdown, hello. Hope you're doing good today. Looks like it's going to be an interesting night. Moments after I got off the air. First of all, earlier when Chad told me that the Twins Red Sox got postponed, I had just assumed blindly that like they were in Fenway and like weather postponed it. That was not the case, and that's my bad. I guess this is one of those opportunities for social justice statements, and the Twins decided that because of the civil unrest in the Minnesota area that they would not play their game today. We saw a precedent for this last year when Milwaukee was going through it and the Bucks sat out some games, and then the rest of the league kind of parodied that. Will we see that today in baseball and basketball? Certainly something to be at least cognitive of, but at the very least be aware that the Minnesota Timberwolves, who seem the most likely to parody what the Twins did, have already been part of some speculations that they might sit this one out. Labs tweeted that there have been conversations about possible postponement of Nets Wolves Monday. We'll update. I also saw that from Adrian Wojnarowski. He had covered that a little bit. So it does feel like that we will not have the Twins game, or excuse me, the Timberwolves game. And Woj had said ESPN reporting with Malika Andrews in aftermath of a police shooting that's caused civil unrest in Minneapolis. Conversations are ongoing about the possible postponement of the Nets T-Wolves game tonight. The Twins Red Sox game has been postponed. Decision expected this afternoon. So it's very hard to see a roundtable discussion with the Twins already setting a precedent that ends with the T-Wolves saying, yeah, we should play. I don't think that happens. We're not in the business of projecting human decisions there, but it seems likely that game would not play, so that's something to be cognitive of. We've already gotten news that Karl-Anthony Towns was not going to play due to personal, and I don't know if that has anything to do with this. I feel like there's a good chance maybe it does. So look out for that, and then also look out for a domino effect. And I mean this with all due respect. I don't mean to diminish the cause. Like I look for a domino effect of players who have been strong civil or social justice warriors, the Kyrie type stuff like that. Look out for some of those guys to maybe just sit tonight as well. Derrick Rose, I think, would be somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like these are just guys that I could see reacting in their own unique way, and I mean this with all due respect. So it could be one of those nights. So just be cognitive of that. Otherwise, key news to watch: Kristaps Porzingis, night 2 back-to-back, questionable. Bradley Beal probable. Jamal Murray to be determined. He's missed a slew of games. Kyle Kuzma's missed some games. He's questionable. Maxi Kleber is probable, and Jordan Clarkson's doubtful. On top of us already knowing that Mike Conley's out. So yeah. Anyway, happy Monday. I hope you guys are doing well. And yeah, what's up, chat? What up, dang lazy mofo? What's up, Quan? So Brody, 21 games, 2 sports within hours of each other. Man's working out here. Yeah, I literally at the end of my baseball stream, I was like, hopefully I'll have a co-host on basketball and my voice won't get too hurt. And then the first thing I see in Discord was, can't make stream at Showstopper. But let me miss one stream to do the other show, and he won't shut up. So I ain't trying to hear that ever again. Kyrie was rolled out. Yeah, I know Kyrie's out, but I'm saying he was an example of a player that has been vocal as a leader in social justice and life over basketball. You know what I'm saying? Like those type of guys. Look out for maybe, even if other games played, look out for maybe some scattered guys like that, maybe sitting this one out for personal, and it could be directly associated to this. And then, like I said, when we saw the Bucks sit down a game last year, we saw a lot of other pro sports teams do the same. So I don't like. I'm hoping we don't have an avalanche here. If it happens, it happens. But I just want it could be possible. Baseball seems a little bit easier to make those decisions because you can run double headers. Basketball, a team like the T-Wolves, they're not going to be competing in the playoffs, so it is what it is. What's up, EB? The cop was supposed to use this taser, and taser's going to set. Yeah, I haven't seen the video. I'm not, we're not here to go into. We all know, right? I don't want to cause any drifts. I'm definitely that. I just trying to impartially address it, but stop killing people. Simple as that. People, stop killing people. But how do you stop because the air freshener in the rear view, man? Yeah, I haven't seen this, man. Sports show, yeah. You guys are. And last year when this happened, we had a very uncomfortable hour-long discussion in my Discord. Since we didn't have basketball, there was a lot of people of different ages and races and perspectives, and it was I loved it. So yeah, I'm definitely not I'm not trying to keep you guys off of that, but yeah, if we can focus on the basketball side of things here, but you just hate to keep seeing that stuff happen. It's just so unnecessary, and then for that to be per capita in the same place as anyway. Philadelphia 76ers at the Dallas Mavericks. First game on tonight's docket. Be noted that it is a 7:30 p.m. Eastern lock tonight. It's actually going to come after baseball, I believe. So if you are juggling both sports tonight, looks like baseball is going to lock first. So maybe prioritize that, and then you have an extra 30 minutes or so to react if necessary to last minute news you can use. Sixers projected starting 5: Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Tobias Harris, and Joel Embiid up against Luka Doncic, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith, Maxi Kleber, and Kristaps Porzingis. So Porzingis is questionable. I think he's questionable because of the back-to-back. It is worth noting that he has played back-to-backs this year, but he's also sat out plenty. He played, I believe, the last back-to-back. Was it the 7th and 8th? And he played 33 minutes after playing 36 minutes. So we'll see if they think he's going to be good to go. Definitely somebody that they're going to protect if they can. But this is a guy that's coming off of probably 2 of his better games as a Maverick. 17 and 15 rebounds, Bucks in San Antonio. 26 and 31 real life points. So if he can go, definitely a guy that they could use against the Sixers team at full strength. If he can't go, it's going to up the usage for Luka Doncic, probably widen the spread a little bit, and then you might see a guy like Boban Marjanovic being leaned on for his size against some Embiid size. So look out for that. On the 76er side, now we have Raj. What? Raj, you got to make up your mind, bro. All right, I guess we got to add Raj into the mix here. When I was talking to my dad, 2 cars and stopped me drunk because I followed undercover.
Yo.
You coming or going?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm coming. I'm here.
All right, your mic's so low. Why is this happening?
Hold up.
Let me check. I'm going to turn you up to 200%. Say things and words and phrases and stuff.
Let me love you, and I will love you until you learn.
Nets and Wolves just got officially postponed, so we'll remove those games from the slate. I tell you what,
great game.
Complete respect to the cause, but from a DFS standpoint, I'm almost glad to not have that headache.
Really? I mean, I was all for the Naj Reid fading Kevin Durant. I was cool with that.
Nah, because then you had to figure out if D. Russ was going to drop 50 in 25 minutes. So that game's off the table. I kind of expected that to be off the table. So we'll adjust accordingly. Vipers, if you're subscribed, obviously the projections are going to reflect my last update pre me going live. But like I said, at this point, we're just watching for any parity throughout the league and any other teams or players trying to act in solidarity. Let me get caught up on chat here. Jim says it really sounds because they're having a memorial for his mother. Okay, and that's fine too. Like I didn't know. Didn't drive for 4 months before. Dang, that's crazy. One good note, won $500 in NASCAR. Let's go. Playboy Gary Hart. Yo, Shark came at me with Tim Brooks. Now Gary Hart. Shark, what part of Texas do you live in? And have you ever seen me wrestle? Like, do you know who I am? Because you're throwing some names out here that are hitting close to home. Anyway, Raj, we're talking 76ers and the Mavericks. Kristaps Porzingis questionable. Night 2 of a back-to-back coming off really 2 strong games for his sake. If he's unable to go, I got to assume Rick Carlisle thinks this is the Boban spot to compete size-wise with Joel Embiid. Overall, it's a 218.5 total. It's one of the lower totals on the slate when we start looking at later games. Joel Embiid's 10-4, 10-1. Need that 50-plus fantasy points out of him. And Ben Simmons is 7,200 on FanDuel. I'd really be living at 40-plus fantasy points. He probably could get that here. Not a comfortable click because it's not a consistent range of outcome from lately, but it is a range of outcome. So I could get to some Ben Simmons here. And it's Tobias Harris still close to 8K, and with Joel Embiid, his ranges of outcomes to satisfy that price point with over 40 fantasy points is a little bit on the lower side. So more median range of outcomes, probably mid-high 30s. I don't have any tier 1s from this game. I'm like, if Porzingis is out, like yeah, the Doncic usage goes up, but I'm also worried about the game staying competitive on a back-to-back, and Doncic, of course, is going to be in competition with guys like Russell Westbrook, and I'm going to be paying high dollar on Donovan Mitchell, guys like that. Doncic in his last 10 really has not blown you away. I know there's a couple of blowouts in the mix as well, but without Porzingis in a game that could be competitive, I definitely want to have some Doncic. Like, I would feel naked if I went into a slate without any Doncic, and again with no Porzingis at home. But at 10-7, I could see him not being a priority in 20 or less lineups. What is your approach on this game?
I think with this game, if Porzingis gets ruled out, I'm going to fade Luka Doncic. I think it's going to be a tough matchup with Ben Simmons. They got Thibault to throw at him. And like you said, I mean, he's not he is the engine that runs this team, but he doesn't need to do everything almost. Like, they just have other guys, other pieces that can pick up the slack if the Sixers defense kind of focuses on him. If Porzingis plays, other than Embiid, who again, not a tier 1, maybe a tier 3, not in love with him today. I mean, if he gets 35 minutes, he can definitely smash. I think there's other games at that price and players that I'd rather target. This game might be, I mean, in 20 lineups, if I full fade this game, I don't hate it.
Yeah, in 20, I could see that.
If there's nobody who's running.
If Porzingis played, though, is he coming? He's coming off 2 of his best games. There was a lot of narrative about how bad Porzingis has been, or at least I don't want to say bad, but he hasn't lived up to what they were looking to get out of him. The last couple games could be statement games. So if he was in, I might be a little bit more interested. But yeah, I think I'm going to prioritize other games down the line on the slate. And then those guys would just necessarily be one-offs instead of just being like.
He's had some elite matchups, like no Giannis in that Milwaukee game, fast-paced. San Antonio's been running up and down the court, not playing a lot of defense. But I mean, I get it with Philly, Tobias Harris defense. With Luka, I think maybe a little more if they focus on him. I can see Porzingis getting you a 50 bomb at 8,900. I mean, him versus Zion, who's 800 more, is intriguing 1v1. I think everyone leans Zion, but if Porzingis outscores Zion, wouldn't be shocked.
The world of the 10K Zion. Let's move on to the next game here. Los Angeles Lakers at the New York Knicks. Also at 7:30 p.m. Lock time on this one. Dennis Schroeder, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Kyle Kuzma, Markieff Morris, and Andre the Giant Drummond taking on Elfrid Payton, Reggie Bullock, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Nerlens Noel. A 205.5 total, a 2-point spread favor the home team. New York Knicks, a very slow-paced game, projected-wise, a 96.2 possessions per game average on the Knicks, 98.5 pace rating on the Lakers. It's going to be one of the slowest games and projected totals on the slate. However, Kyle Kuzma's status would make me a little bit more receptive or rejective of Andre Drummond. If Drummond's able to go here without Kuzma, even with Kuzma, he's probably chipping a chair in at that price. But without Kuzma, you definitely can see the Lakers lean on him a little bit more. And if Marc Gasol can't go, so I'm going to pull up the Lakers injury news and notes. We'll start with the Kuzma news. Kuzma listed as questionable, dealing with a calf. He has missed the last 2 games for the Lakers, but he's still day-to-day. If he's unable to play, that'll increase the upside of streamers like Taylor Horton Tucker and KCP. That is a blurb from NBC Sports. And Marc Gasol is listed as questionable with a hamstring. He did miss Saturday's game, and if he's unable to go, a little bit safer floor of minutes for Drummond and Montrezl Harrell. Harrell's dipped down to 6'4", 5'7", but Drummond's the curious one, right? Drummond's a guy we've seen be an AK plus player with ease if you give him the opportunity to have.
Against Brooklyn?
Huh?
Did he play the fourth quarter against Brooklyn? Like it was a blowout. Did he get those minutes?
It was a
blowout. They only played 22 minutes.
Yeah,
so I was wondering about
he's a guy that I hadn't project for deep minutes anyway because of easing back maybe some conditioning concerns. However, in that first game before he broke his toenail off, they were saying he wasn't on a restriction. But let me pull up that fourth quarter for the Lakers.
I want to see if he's going to play like 23 minutes or 29.
He did not touch the court in the fourth quarter, so
okay.
Potentially some minutes left out there. I still think, like, at best, him and Montrezl Harrell probably split, but Montrezl Harrell benefited greatly from that fourth quarter minute-wise. So, Andre Drummond, echo.
You think he touches 30 minutes?
I'm echoing in your thing. Do you think he touches what?
30 minutes in a close game, fourth quarter game.
I put him down at 27, and I think at 27 under 7K, I'm there. But also, like, because of the matchup being a little bit bigger, and you could put Keith. I got put him close to. I wouldn't shock me, but I'm echoing hard in your mic right now. It's driving me nuts. 6,500 on FanDuel for Drummond. Can I get to mid-30s, 35 plus, and then 40 plus fantasy points? I think it's there. One thing about the Knicks, even with their slow pace and big approach, they're still a team that does suffer from blocks allowed per game. I guess because they lean to a lot of the guys in the paint scoring. So Drummond could add to some block potential here. If I go to blocks allowed per game, the leader in the league is 5.9, but the Knicks give up about 5.6, so they're right on there. So I do think the matchup's fine for Drummond, but I would love to see Kuzma and Marc Gasol out to feel even better about potential usage, and the rebounding is going to be a little bit stronger here. The Knicks are a solid rebounding team, so I'm there on Drummond, but I'm not too aggressive yet. But the news could change that. Do you have plans on being a little bit ambitious with Drummond if you believe he's getting 30?
Yeah, so at that price tag, I'm probably gonna have like 40% of either him or Jonas. Jonas on a back-to-back, so I'm a little worried about his minutes. So whichever guy I come to the conclusion will play more minutes, I'll probably have a ton of. I mean, it's really a coin flip right now. I'm just gonna kind of wait, see if we get news on possible minutes restriction for Jonas or Drummond, or try to get some report on it. But I mean, you gotta love it, Andre Drummond. I mean, Andre the point per minute monster. I mean, I think I saw a stat earlier today where this season, I think he's ranked 6th in the league per 32 minutes. And the only guys ahead of him are Jonas, Giannis, Embiid, LeBron, Luka, and then Westbrook. I don't know what's Drummond.
Are we talking fantasy point per minute? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, fantasy points. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's yes, but also the being the big fish in a bathtub type of situation, right? When he was on the court for the Cavs or what have you, and even
which is right now too.
And exactly right now too as well. So he does have that potential, but I'm not quick to put him in the same class as those guys. But but he probably, if we get him to 30 minutes, and right now I'd even live at 27. I think he's probably too cheap for the opportunity. I don't think the matchup is super pristine. I don't think it's the best spot in the world, but that pace could play to his size. And if there's no Kuzma, obviously we know LBJ, AD, and if there's no Marc Gasol, I'm okay with playing him, but I don't think he's I don't think I tier 1 him.
I think the Knicks pace is better suited for him. I like him in these type of matches versus a standard Washington or Sacramento. Even though you play him against them too, and with the Knicks playing 2 bigs, it seems like a bit extra minutes. But I'll come down to again, you said the Marcus Gasol news, Kuzma news. If Kuzma gets ruled in and Marcus Gasol gets ruled out, I'll probably still have a good chunk of Drummond.
Yeah.
But if both get ruled in, I may be a little more worried. But again, I don't think Marcus Gasol's going to be stealing too many minutes from Andre Drummond. I still expect Drummond to start.
Yeah. If Kuzma gets rolled out, Taylor Horton Tucker is really expensive, but he's a guy we've seen thrive in that spot. I'm probably not pushing this on those guys. RJ Barrett's kind of cheap. Julius Randle 9.6. He might just get completely lost in the shuffle. We talked about Zion Williamson potentially without Lonzo in a spot where he's just been hot. A lot of people will probably just play Zion over Julius Randle. I think there's still some game theory behind Randle being a fine play here, so I wouldn't write him off. Let's get caught up on chat here before we move on. Nothing crazy. Raj is always loud. Nets in Minnesota get postponed. Yeah. So no reason to discuss this game. This was a 230 total game. I'm sure this game was going to have some ownership after the Cat news came out. I think a lot of people were going to go ahead and jam in Nas Reed as a free square. Like I said, with complete respect to the cause, I'm completely fine with having not having to deal with this game. The Nets were going to be without Kyrie and Harden, Durant on a minutes restriction. You could have spun the wheel, make a deal on like a Blake Griffin, guys like that, and then the same with the T-Wolves without Cat. D. Ross has been killing off the bench, so like I'm fine with not having to deal with this game. But much respect to the cause, and hopefully everyone that's in that area stays safe. And Minnesota can get over this. So let me take this game out of the spreadsheet, and then we will move on to the next one. What up, Crispy? Mid-range 60 bombs are in season. Dude, the other night I looked up and I swear I saw like 560s. I was like, holy. What up, Fish? All right, taking me a nap. Great show. Maybe I'll run into a quick trip when I go fishing in Waco. Yeah, man, you literally can't miss me. Spurs at the Magic. Project starting 5 for the Spurs. Dejounte Murray, Derek White, DeMar DeRozan, Keldon Johnson, and Jakob Poeltl. Am I not Poeltl enough for the Poeltl Club? Taking on Michael Carter-Williams, Dwayne Bacon, James Ennis, Chuma Okeke, and Wendell Carter Jr. 217.5 total, 7-point spread in favor of the visiting San Antonio Spurs. So another meager total. Orlando Magic have kind of priced everyone to the 5-6K area, looking a lot like the Thunder from a stretch a week or two ago, where you can make individual cases here. But is anyone on this slate like anyone on this team going to break the slate at this price point? I'm gonna lean no. So I could see myself without any Magic in my player pool. And then on the Spurs side, it can make some backdoor cases for like a Murray, a DeRozan, and even a Jakob Poeltl. I think Jakob Poeltl 6K on DraftKings is very intriguing to me. Just getting to like a 30 fantasy point threshold. But outside of that, like no priority plays for me. But it would and it really might just be Poeltl as a tier 2 option. Everyone else, if I got to them, would likely be a tier 3. Do you have any crazy takes about this one?
I think Mo Bamba on DraftKings, one like a util center, cheap price, could get you 30 at 4,300. I'm still splitting the minutes with Wendell Carter. So, I mean, the minutes aren't the best, but in the spot, I can see him still getting there. DeMar DeRozan's chalk on FanDuel. I mean, he's been kind of hot lately. Chucked up 25 shots, basically coming off of back-to-back 50 bombs. Do I see it happening again? I mean, maybe. I don't know if he's just draw. I'm not going to be high on him, but there's a world where he can get you that 40, 50 bomb. Him and DeJounte Murray, cheap price tag, both coming off essentially 50 bombs against an Orlando team. I don't mind some DeJounte Murray and DeMar DeRozan. And I said, Nick said Poeltl at 6K. None of these guys are tier 1s, but I think just all of them as kind of a tier 3 sprinkled in. Don't hate it.
Yeah. Did you say DeRozan was chalk? I'm just asking.
On FanDuel, yeah. He's like, his ownership projections at 23%?
Oh, okay. I haven't looked at ownership projections. I'm just...
Yeah.
You think 23% is chalk these days?
I mean, 23% on a 9-game slate. I think it's shot now or 8-game slate. But he's going to be owned. Like, he's not going to be not owned.
I would imagine Donovan Mitchell has to be at the top, right?
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Okay,
so
then,
he's like 35%.
That's the chalk. Like everyone else is.
Yeah.
All right. Kool-Aid. Nah, actually, this is Ocean Spray Cranberry Apple Juice. Maybe I seem more likely to get a sponsorship from them than I do from Bang. But it involves a wakeboard and a really old song, I guess.
You gotta try 3D energy drinks.
What
the
is
best
that?
in the game.
Oh, so
It's
so
like
I mean, hold on. I'm still a Bang guy, but I just did a baseball stream sipping on a Bang. I felt like 2 bangs in a 4-hour span may not be the best for the old
yeah,
cardiovascular. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. But you gotta try three. Like I'm not even a big fan of energy drinks, and this one's legit. 3D energy drinks.
Three,
Order up and you'll see.
what's the catch? Is it like a no sugar? No, not the catch. But
No,
what's the gimmick that makes them so good?
they're just really good. Like it was made by like a guy on like a fitness guy on YouTube, but they just taste really good. He just did a good job, you know.
Oh, you're into fitness, ain't you?
Little bit, yeah, but this guy, it's just good. Like it's just really good. Like
in your mouth.
I'm not really into like
Oh God, I just burned you. You didn't even hear it. All right, let's move on to the
fitness
next
in your
game.
mouth. What?
Fitness in your mouth.
Okay, fit
Yeah.
this in your mouth. Nah, it doesn't. Nah,
Yes,
no,
no.
no,
Are
no,
you?
no.
Hey,
It doesn't work.
are you
Chat, let
into
him know that was not a
no,
good one.
That is a good.
That was
Are
not
you
a good
into
one.
fitness? Yeah, fitness D in your mouth, right? Like that's the.
Yo, chat, let him know.
How is that
wasn't
not
it.
a good one, bro? That's better than
Guys
anything you've
on a
ever.
bad streak, bro. Guys on a
No.
bad streak. First to get out dad joked on the Osmo stream.
Oh no,
now
no,
he's
no.
dropping lame
Emac,
jokes.
I
on
got
this
bullets for Emac. You just wait.
Got on a slump, T.
Me and
Got on a
Emac catch
slump
a
out
show
here.
again. I've got dad jokes locked and loaded, baby. We going now. What was I doing? Pelicans. I need some Lonzo Ball news. So
He's out. He got rolled out.
did he get rolled out? All right. So
Yeah.
while I was on the air, or right before I went on the air. So what are we doing here with this projector? Is that gonna put Kira Lewis NBA? Oh, I'm hating on it. On this slate, I just played Utah with Westbrook and Fox. No, that was actually good off the top.
Yeah.
See,
Nah. You must just. Who said that?
Young C.
Young C. Young C. There's no way you can approve that joke. Young C, low key, like I don't know, 40-year-old white guy. Nah.
No, I mean I definitely don't think Young C is a 40-year-old white guy.
If he likes that joke, that's the only way. That's the only demographic that like that joke.
All right, this will probably be your game stack game of the day. It's the Sacramento Kings at the New Orleans Pelicans. Project starting 5 for the Kings. De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, Mo. How could you be so heartless? Harrison Barnes, Rashawn Holmes taking on Eric Bledsoe. Najee Marshall, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Stone Cold Steven Adams. Gonna give you one board. What? A 236.5 total. Pelicans favored by 2. Everything that you would want from this game is there. You got every position covered, and it's 2 of the worst defenses in all of the association going at it, and it should offer plenty of implied points and plenty of implied fantasy. Sacramento, the league worst defense. The New Orleans Pelicans are the 3rd worst defense. So everyone's in play, and it only helps that we rule out some guys like Lonzo Ball to offer up Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and hey, maybe even Eric Bledsoe, who we've seen shine and thrive in a couple spots earlier this season. However, those kind of came without Ingram and Zion. So I'm a little less infatuated with Bledsoe today because of Ingram and Zion's existence. But I probably wouldn't have none just considering the matchup and the fact that Lonzo is out and also Josh Hart is out. So plenty of guard minutes to go around on the Kings side. 1 through 5 outside of Mo Harkless in play for me. I think De'Aaron Fox has a case to be one of my highest owned point guards tonight. He's 9.5 on FanDuel, 9.3 on DraftKings. Buddy Hield, a little bit of revenge, right? It's always fun to put him back in Nolans. Harrison Barnes, can I get 36 plus minutes? Yes. Can I get 30 fantasy points? Maybe. And then Rashawn Holmes, I think his price is a little uncomfortable with Hassan Whiteside back in the mix, but he does have a range of outcomes of 40 plus. So Fox 1 for me in terms of ownership, and then as I'm digging into that bench, Tyrese Halliburton is my first guy up, 5'7", 6'1" on both sites. So none of these guys outside of Fox have a chance of being a tier 1 for me, but they're in the player pool and they're going to probably be aggressively hit in my optos. And on the Pelican side, Bledsoe, Ingram, Zion are the 3 names I'm most intrigued with, and it's in the reverse order. Zion 1, Ingram 2, Bledsoe 3, and then maybe I dabble with some of the guards like Kira Lewis or somebody like that. But Zion's the debate here on FanDuel, $10,000. And usually if I look at price without giving it context and I look at the position, at first I'm like, man, 10K for Zion, that's out of there. But then when we go look at the position, it's a cliff. There's Zion. Obviously, Randall's in play, but is he as strong of a play as Zion for a couple $100? Without Lonzo against the Kings, maybe not. AD's out. Porzingis could be out on back-to-back rest. Tobias Harris questionable and not like a fantastic game, but upside as long as Embiid is in. And now all of our other options here are 3 to 4K cheaper. So Zion might be one of those overpay for 45 and live with it type of plays for me today. 10K chat. I'm curious to see what you guys are thinking here. I need on a normal night 50 fantasy points from that 10K price point. And I think the matchup literally does not get better than the Sacramento Kings. So no Lonzo helps him a ton as well. So Raj, 10K for FanDuel, 9.7, not much cheaper on DraftKings. Is Zion going to be a priority play for you today?
He's going to be a priority. Whether tier 1 or tier 2, still kind of up for debate. Whether I want 40, whether I want probably 40 or 20%. I think the right tournament play with Zion's ownership too is having more Ingram than Zion. I think Ingram outscores Zion today. We saw the assist upside with no Lonzo last game. He had 8 assists. I think against the Sacramento team, it could be 10, maybe 12 assists. So I really like Brandon Ingram today. Playing them together is intriguing too. Get you a combined in upside games, 120. Don't hate that. So give me those two as kind of tier 2 guys, possibly tier 1. And the Sacramento side, I mean, you mentioned Fox, 9,300 on DK. Love that price. He's averaged 70 DK in 2 games this year against New Orleans. 70. That's just absurd.
Is that good?
I mean, I think so. I think that would determine. I think so.
Yeah.
So he's going to be a tier 1 here. I think you probably play them both together, but it's intriguing, like a 1v1 if you just had to pick Mitchell or Fox today.
Oh, that's so good.
Right? Yeah.
Dude, but Mitchell has no Clarkson, no Conley.
No Conley. Yeah, I think people lead Mitchell, but I think Fox is really close, and it's right there. So, I mean, play them together. It's great. But yeah, Fox tier 1, play Zion, play Ingram. I guess Bledsoe's intriguing. He's going to play the minutes here, too. He's going to have those games. I don't know what his upside is with both Ingram and Zion there. I think he might be capped at like a 35, which at his price is not going to win you anything. And Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield is a guy at this pace, the game against a bad team. He can get hot from 3. Past 2 out of past 3 games got you close to 40. He's a walking 50 bomb wait to happen every few games. So Buddy Hield in tournaments I kind of really like.
Yeah. Also, De'Aaron Fox, hometown New Orleans, Louisiana. So with some
another one.
people.
Are there fans? Are there fans today?
Yeah, they have limited. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I actually have a friend who's a season ticket holder there. So yeah. Fox playing in front of his mama, maybe. I don't know. I just made that up. I don't know that for sure, but probably.
More Fox.
Yeah, no, I'm right there on Fox. I'll probably have a lot of Fox and Mitchell overlap. I don't think that's going to be hard to accomplish.
Yeah, I mean, on FanDuel, yes. On DK, not as comfortable, but on FanDuel, yes.
FanDuel superior site. What's up, Hector? You're...
I mean, DK got 100K to first.
Lonzo in? No, looks like Lonzo's going to be out. What's up, Dez?
Yeah.
I don't think I caught you earlier. How we doing? Let's move on to the next game. Utah Jazz hosting the Washington Wizards of the Wizards of Washington Place. It's kind of a thing that I'm trying to get going. So use it or not. I don't know. Russell, it's stupid. Russell Westbrook, Bradley Beal, Danny Avdia, Rui Hachimura, and Alex Len taking on Donovan Mitchell, Jingle, Joe Ingles, Bojan Bogdanovic, Royce O'Neal, and Rudy Gobert. We got 235 total, an 11-point spread in favor of the home team, Utah Jazz. I'm echoing still. What is it? Your mic is garbage. Donovan Mitchell's 9K, 9,200 on DraftKings.
Your problem.
It's definitely your mic. That makes no sense for me to hear me echoing through your mic. That has nothing to do with my equipment, sir.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, it is.
Got
weird.
it.
Because you're using iPad. What are you using?
I mean, using my Beats.
Using Beats.
Beats by Dr. Ed just got the wire for the headphone mic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not, bro. I got literal hardware over here. Don't you ever come after my stuff, you MFer.
I'll wait till that home recording studio comes through. So I can make a bangers from home and I guess better mic. for these streams.
Make that DFS anthem. Stop.
Talk about it.
Okay.
Let's go. Don't play him.
Donovan Mitchell
Hey.
has a game against the Wizards at home without Jordan Clarkson. Well, Jordan Clarkson's doubtful, so I guess technically he's not out yet, but he's likely going to be out. No Mike Conley. So it's a big spot for Mitchell to play 35-plus minutes going against a porous defense like the Wizards. Wizards look like they could be with Bradley Beal and Westbrook, so they'll be full strength. However, we know at Utah, things get tough. This defense has taken a step back on the season without Mike Conley, as Raj definitely just fell off his balcony. But yeah, there's no reason not to love Donovan Mitchell. My conservative projections actually have Mitchell for a 50 bomb here. If I first of all take all this Minnesota junk out of here, I have Donovan Mitchell as the highest scoring player on the slate. Is that true? Is it true, Dad? Is it really true? Sort it. Yeah, I have Donovan Mitchell as the highest scoring player on the slate based on early projections. So things might change as we get closer to lock. But that's hard to turn away from, and it's easy to justify 40 real points here. I don't think that's crazy. So I like him quite a bit. I'm also going to be leaning on Joe Ingles, also benefiting from no Conley and no Jordan Clarkson. I think some tournament shares of Bojan Bogdanovic is not unjustifiable. And then Rudy Gobert could have a 20-10 type of game as well. 20 rebounds, 10 real points, or vice versa. So I think the Jazz are all in play, but Donovan Mitchell has every right to be a tier 1, and so does Joe Ingles. And then on the Wizards side, Westbrook and Beal, man. Westbrook at 11K. If we, players like me and you prioritize Fox and Mitchell, it's not a whole lot of money left for the Russell Westbrook. So I don't know if the field's going to be like us, but on the road in the altitude is Westbrook at 11K. If he drops 60 today, is it fadeable?
Yes, I think if you're running 150, you don't fade him. You just play, you keep him in the pool. But, if you're running less than 20 lineups, I think you're going to have more Fox, more Mitchell, more Zion. And, value isn't the greatest today. There's really not a lot of kind of really cheap 3-4K guys. So getting Westbrook definitely be a little difficult. So I prefer those 9K guys. So yeah, he's just going to be, again, if I was running 50 lines, maybe like a 10%er just to kind of have, not someone who I'm going to run to today. You mentioned Mitchell, Ingles, I think both tier 1, both above 50% owned for me. I'd like to double the field on both these guys, especially Ingles. I think maybe people might overlook him a little bit, but he dropped 50 against Washington last time. I'm all over Ingles today and Mitchell. You mentioned Bojan. Like I said, great in tournaments. He just kind of been looking rough lately. I don't know if shots not falling, hasn't been chucking as much, but against Washington, you can fix that. So I like it. And Rudy Gobert, I think he definitely goes a little overlooked. I do like a couple other centers, like I said, Drummond and Valanciunas, I like more. So it might be a little hard to get to Gobert, but this could be a 20 rebound spot for him. Wouldn't be shocked. And I think Royce O'Neal for value, since it's not that great today. A guy that's going to play 35 minutes at 4,200. You essentially want him to have the game he had against Sacramento last time.
Yeah.
Right, and you're good to go. So, and I think that's perfectly viable here against Washington. So, I think Royce O'Neal for me, if no other value opens up, he might be my favorite 4K guy. Like Basement's priced up.
The other day on FanDuel, Power Forward was a cesspool, and I was just like, you know what, 30 minutes against the Kings, let's go. And that's what I did. I could see that being my bailout justification here too.
Power Forward's strong today, right? When we have Zion, you have Randy, you can pay up for Porzingis. There's guys. It's just you need value to play the Mitchell and Fox, and I think Royce O'Neal might be my guy because right now I really can't find anybody else I'm in love with.
So, in a couple minutes, Top Shot's doing this 1K pack drop.
I wasn't eligible. I'm pissed.
So I am eligible.
There you go.
I don't know if I want to buy it.
Oh, let's go. Let's just get a group thing. Have, you know what I mean? We'll get in the group chat. But you want a piece? Sell pieces.
So I have 300 in the Dapper. I don't know that I want to deposit any more real money with the market being what it is. So yeah, if anybody wants to split 700, if I get a spot, I'm down.
Oh yeah, I'm with it. I'm down.
Right.
I'm still double people in chat. Yeah, talk it over.
All right. Well, we have 7 minutes to make that decision. So.
I want to get it. I want to get the queue.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm eligible. I'm in the line. Like I said, I'll put 300 on it, but I don't know if I trust. I don't trust. All right. Let's move on to the next game here. We only got a couple games. So yeah, Chicago Bulls at the Memphis Grizzlies. Project starting five for the Bulls: Tomas Satoransky, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Thaddeus Young, and Nikola Vucevic taking on Ja Morant, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson's got tickets to the game. How'd they get tickets? Jonas Valanciunas, a 228.5 total. The total's kind of high, right?
I love this game.
Yeah. You don't really get these kind of totals for, I guess, Grizzlies. Okay. So J-Val's coming off a monster game. So I didn't play DFS last night, but obviously because of my obligations here, I got to stay in tune. J-Val's coming off one of his best games ever as a player, not just as a Grizzly. He had 34 real points, 69.5 fantasy points on 22 rebounds. He does play. Yeah, he does play back-to-backs. So, if at 7,300, if you're looking for 40-plus fantasy points.
Look at the minutes of those back-to-back, though. I did a little bit. Those back-to-back minutes don't always look so pretty. Last back-to-back, 26.7.
But look at the scores. There's a 20.
I know, that's what I'm saying. The scores have been amazing. I'm just worried about the minutes. I want to tier one him. I want to tier one him when he plays 35 minutes.
I'm saying the scores of the game. You're talking about the minutes. Like the last back-to-back was a 20-point blowout.
True. It was a 20-point blowout. Obviously, 126, 110.
Mm-hmm.
So the back-to-back, 12, 4, 6, 7, 6, 7. Yeah, 131. Okay, that's true.
Yeah.
I like the way you think.
Yeah. Thanks. I appreciate that. Let's fish in. I'm in the queue so we can top up if you want. Yeah. All right. So we'll see. If I get a number, we'll do it. So the 300's in the Dapper. I have stuff in the PayPal, but I'd rather just use the Dapper. I could later just liquidate my Zion or whatever, but we'll see if we get a pick. It's only 2,400 packs. So yeah, so it would be like 700. So if you guys are in the Discord and want to chop up 700, if we wait, but if we get it, I'm game to split it with you guys. So what do you love? What do you love from this game? Obviously, J-Val kind of gravitates forward. You can make 7-3 on Kyle Anderson and Brandon Clark. There's no way I do that.
Yes, he does. So Brandon Clark, Kyle Anderson is a no for me when these guys are healthy. Oh, it's kind of a prime value guy today, but point guard is so deep, it's tough. Tyus Jones. So DeAndre Melton's out. So that's a solid kind of
DeAnthony, yeah.
Yeah, DeAnthony. Sorry, Melton's out. And he's been kind of averaging 20 fantasy points, 25 fantasy points a game. He's been pretty solid. So I think a few more minutes to Tyus Jones, who was already seeing close to 20, 15 minutes. So now he might see 20 at 3,200 on DraftKings. I don't hate it.
Mm-hmm.
A guy like, I think, Grayson Allen in tournaments, he's not that cheap, that's the only problem, but he gets a bit of a minutes bump and a usage bump with no Melton. Don't hate that. So yeah, if you want some value guys, and Desmond, so it's weird. So Memphis, Melton, Grayson Allen, Bane, I literally see them in winning lineups every other day. One of those guys. They each seem to have
it's one though. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. It's one. It's one of them. They just have it. And with no Melton, it's I think one of those guys probably get there for tournament value. Maybe Bane at 4K. Just value punts if you need to get there. I don't hate a Bane, Allen, or Tyus Jones. Tyus Jones is a little hard to get to because he's only point guard eligible. So you're giving up a Mitchell, a John Morant, a Fox. John Morant's tier one on DraftKings, 6,800. Chicago doesn't play any defense. Should see 35 minutes. It's a prime spot for him, right? He should be again. Even a game in Indiana, 132 to 125. He only scored 36 fantasy points. That's a little worrisome. Obviously, J-Val has a big game.
When J-Val's dropping 70, there's not going to
be... Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, but he's a 50-ball waiting to happen in Chicago. So I do like John Morant at 6,800.
So I feel like I don't love this game as much as the total says I should. J-Val at 7-3. Yeah, I'm looking for 40. I think he can get it.
Yep.
John Morant, I'm looking for 40. I think he can get it. But if they get 40, that's what they need. On the Bulls side, I do like.
That could be on a tear.
He is, but he's 9K. So
he's on a tear.
And when you're a stone's throw from Donovan Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox, you still have LaVine third based on those two, right? If you put those three in the mix.
Yep.
So Vucevic 9.5. I need 40, 50. No one in this game is saying that I have to have the total of the game makes sense. The poorest defenses, but I feel like we still got two deep minute rotation teams. And I just LaVine, yeah, sure. Like I'm gonna have it, but it's gonna be like tier 3 at best for all of them. Maybe J Val slips into it too, but like I'm not confident in.
You don't think John Moran into it too?
How? Like
I mean, it's got a cheaper price tag.
If I'm going to prioritize Donovan Mitchell and De'Aaron Fox, the rest of my guards probably gonna have to be like Joe Ingles prices, like 5K guys. So I like it would be a 3, and even John Morant in great matchups. Like you can't guarantee me right now that John Morant's playing 35 minutes. Like he could, but he could also just play 31, and then they have Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Conchera, you know, it's just it's very diluted. So I'm here on having exposure, but I definitely sound like I'm going to be lower than maybe you would be, right?
I mean Moran and J-Val, I'll have a good piece of that combo together.
That's fair. Casey Banton says, Raj, let's work on a banger this summer. I live in Toronto now. Ooh.
Oh, let's go. Hey, whereabouts in Toronto? Holler at your boy.
So Top Shot's doing the orders now. The order, but
come on, baby.
They're distributing numbers. Says it may take 1 to 2 minutes to get your spot in line. So you're looking for a number below 2423. Probably below 2500. We'll give you a chip in a chair, and if we get one, then we'll
who's like you, Fish? What's eligible?
Jake. I think Jake's gonna cover it himself though. Normally I would, but I just like Top Shot's been so shaky lately that I don't know. I don't know if I want. You know what I'm saying? Like I just want to leave with what I got rather than put more into it. So we'll see. Yeah. Chat, while I'm waiting for that number, I'm going to remind you guys about our partnership with PrizePicks. PrizePicks has teamed up with me and several creators, but me particularly, since you guys are here in my channel. If you sign up using code GUNDACKER, they're going to match your initial deposit up to $100. I got 21.6K, so no drop for me. That's a lot of people in line to pay $1,000 for imaginary baseball.
I was going to say that's a lot. What's your number? I will get the number.
21,660.
I thought not even 2,100.
No, not even close.
Yeah, no one got it. Fish got 55,000.
Okay, cool. So we don't have to worry about dropping $1,000 on gifts.
We could have like a 25K return though, right?
Yeah, no, you definitely could.
Crazy.
Anyway, PrizePicks, sign up using code GUNDACKER. So they're gonna match your initial deposit up to $100 if you use code GUNDACKER. But also, I'm gonna throw in a nice addition. If you guys sign up, I'll throw in a week of RunDFS.com VIP. So if you sign up, hit me up on Twitter. DMs are open. Be like, yo, Gun, I signed up. Here's my name. Here's what to look for. And then tell me your RunDFS.com username. If you don't have one, go make one. Takes a minute. And then in the morning, when I get my sheet from them saying who signed up, eligible, blah, 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 then I'm like, all right, boom, that's him. And I go to RunDFS and I activate you for a week. If you're already a Viper, you can add a week to your subscription already by doing the same thing. So yeah, good little promo we're doing. They offer prop betting on every sport, esport, cricket, basketball, baseball, and you guys can put those into parlays. So as little as 2 pick parlays, as many as 5, and they also have plenty of like bonuses and incentives every day. It's a really fun, addictive style of DFS where you put yourself against the house and not against everyone else, right? You don't have to worry about me coming at you with Tyus Jones in 150 lineups or something dumb like that. You just have to research the stats, isolate your approach, and then it's also just a good way to diversify your spend already, because you're already doing the research, but we can't play everyone, so it's a good way to maybe put a little extra bang for your buck already and reward that research a little bit better, right? Let's see what you guys got in the live chat, right? Pete says tiers 2 through 4 on DK. You can play Fox, Mitchell, and Levine. I definitely would have. For me, it's 1 Mitchell, 2 Fox, 3 Levine. I think Levine is on a tear, but he's going to come with a little bit more volatility versus the other 2. Fox isn't going to be like necessarily as scoring dependent as Levine. I mean, it's going to be safe. The matchup is great. And then, of course, Donovan Mitchell at home without Conley, without Jordan Clarkson, against a bad defense like the Wizards. So I like all 3, but I would say Levine's a distant 3 to my weight on 2 and 1. Right? What 2 players would you use as a lock? just in general for like value.
Um,
I mean, Joe
I think it was
Ingles.
O'Neal more than that.
Yeah, okay.
Joe is like a mid tier though. He's 5,700 on DK. Was he 55 on FanDuel?
So if I'm
55, yeah.
I'd probably okay. So Fox and Mitchell is the lazy answer, but like tier ones for me are usually guys that are priced at can't miss areas, and I lean on them a lot, even if they are just projected in value. So like Joe Ingles, even if you think he just gets through 30, how often do you see him not getting 30 in this opportunity? Like he just does it.
He's
So
good to go.
Joe Ingles DKP by game logged without Mike Conley. Let's go last 10 games on this one, and then also be aware that there's no Jordan Clarkson as well. So you look at the last 10 games of Ingles without Conley. There's been 2 games where he didn't get you 28 DKP or greater, and most of those games are over 30. So that to me would be tier 1. It's not saying that I think he's the best play ever. I just think for his price point, he's going to give me the highest shot at hitting value with a little bit of room for improvement because of no Clarkson. So that's, if you ever see my tiers, you'll see that like I rarely ever have a 10K guy as a tier 1 player. There's just so much more risk because of the price. So I like to lean on the 5 to 7K guys that are in great spots. So like if Zion was like 8K spot today, I'd be leaning on him. Obviously at 10K, he's got to be like at the tier 2 spot. But that's kind of my prerequisites there. There are times where Harden without anybody or Westbrook without anybody gets to that tier 1 spot. But that's usually a little circumstantial. Going to see that Miles Bridges dunk? Yeah, Bridges was a beast in that one. What up, Josh? Love Dennis the Menace tonight. 40 bomb. I can get that. Any context for J-Val versus Vooch? You mean like historical results? We can look that up for you. But again, be careful with history. Game log versus Nikola Vucevic. Let's go last 10 games. Especially on Vooch being from different teams. But it's kind of like BVP, right? You don't get a whole lot of context. But J-Val, J-Val's last 3 games, 50 and 65. But the game in the middle, 25. So the game in the middle, though, only 22 minutes. I mean, he was over a point per minute.
J-Val went to drop it straight up 1v1. Who you going?
Probably J-Val. Probably.
Okay.
Higher total.
I hear you.
Gonna need him. Coming off his best game
I
ever.
hear you.
Let's move on to the next game. Golden State Warriors hosting the Denver Nuggets. Projection only 5 for the Nuggets. Maybe Jamal Murray. He's questionable. Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr., and Nikola Jokic taking on Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, Kent Bazemore, Draymond Green, and Kevin Looney. Warriors looking a little bit different. No Wiseman or Oubre here. That's 2 starters. Even more reason to like Steph Curry. A 225.5 total, 4.5 point spread in favor of the Denver Nuggets. On the Nuggets side, it is very, very, very crucial information to know whether or not Jamal Murray will or will not play. We likely don't have that information until we're a quarter away through the slate. He did not play against the Celtics on Sunday. He's been dealing with a sore right knee. He has missed 4 games in a row. And if he can't go again today, you would expect more work there for those backup guards, Campazos, Monte Morris, guys like that. But what it's really done, it has created an opportunity for Nikola Jokic to continue his MVP campaign. And he's at 10.4K on a night so far. But we talked about putting a lot of money aside for Donovan Mitchell, for De'Aaron Fox. Here comes Jokic. He's entered the chat. 53, 67, 51, 58. This guy has as much upside as anyone. And if Jamal Murray is out, he probably has the highest floor as anyone. So 10.4K. Does he have 60 plus fantasy point potential? Yes. He dropped 64.5 against the Warriors earlier this season in 35 minutes. So obviously my desire to play him is a little bit more contingent on Jamal Murray's status, whether or not he'll be able to go or not. I don't think he's untouchable with Murray in. But we talked about 4 games. Murray's been out for 4 games. So if we go to the little overlap of games with Murray and Aaron Gordon, there's a stretch of 34, 39, 53, 48. You know what I'm saying? Like completely fadeable outcomes at this price point. So I don't believe we have enough sample size for me to say yes for sure. I don't want to play Jokic if Aaron Gordon and Jamal Murray are in because it could be coincidental until we get a deeper stretch of sample size. But nonetheless, it's going to be a super plus matchup. And the game's projected to be a little bit closer, 4.5 point spread. So if you like Jokic, you got to believe that there's going to be interest in Steph Curry as a run back option. And again, if Mitchell and Fox, and I think Fox might be more of an us thing. I could be wrong. But if those two did garner the most interest at that spot, you could see Steph Curry maybe slip through a crack at 10.3. And he's looking like 50-plus fantasy points in competitive games, 59, 52, 55, 50, 56. I think that Steph Curry would likely be higher owned than De'Aaron Fox just for the name value, if nothing else. Earlier this season against the Nuggets, 59 fantasy points. So it's not an unrealistic approach to start a lineup with Curry versus Jokic and go from there. And I think on FanDuel, you're going to be a little bit more able to get to lineups like that because you're going to find some of those small forward, power forward value guys. On DK, it might be a little harder to pull off. But yeah, Steph Curry versus Jokic, very, very viable start to a lineup. But I think we just accept that more than likely we don't have the Jamal Murray news, so you might be playing that on a whim, and maybe you set yourself aside a 2v2 if you did, if you were fearful of Jokic's floor without or with Jamal Murray here. Outside of that, I think Aaron Gordon, Will Barton, MPJ. MPJ is harder to love at 7.6, 7K, but chipping a chair prices for Barton and Gordon. And then the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry without Kelly Oubre, without James Wiseman. You feel like somebody else should be viable. Raj, is anybody tickling your fancy on the Warriors other than Steph Curry while we try and run some numbers?
I mean, Kent Bazemore, he's going to see 30-plus minutes here. Obviously, you got the price bump, decent matchup. So, I mean, I like a little bit of him. Am I really going to play any Draymond, Wiggins, or Oubre? I mean, no, I'm sorry, no, Oubre's out. Any Draymond or Wiggins? Probably not. Probably not going to get to any Draymond Green. $67 price tag is intriguing, but he's just shown a really low floor recently. Denver side, I think the Jamal Murray news is big. He's still questionable. If he's out, and that's a bump to Michael Porter Jr., Will Barton, and Jokic. I think points per dollar, probably like Will Barton at 5,300 could be a 30 bomb. Michael Porter Jr. has been killing it past 3 games, 41, 43, 37, 34, 39. He's been relatively consistent, but, 7K now in DK.
Yeah, and all those outcomes are what you need. Like, right?
Yeah, what you need. I guess Jokic 10-4. I mean, obviously you're going to play a ton of him. If no Jamal Murray, if it's a close game, he sees 38 minutes,
again,
he can get you 60+.
Probably don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, if Jokic sees 38 minutes, he can be the highest score on the slate.
Right, but I'm just saying without Jamal Murray, you're not going to have that information. Likely not. I mean, you might, but you're likely not going to have that information on a 10 p.m. game. So what do you do at lock? Do you load up on Jokic and understand that there may not be a maybe you load up on Jokic, and if Zion, like if you get that info, you can swap that to Zion and eat that 500, 400 on DraftKings. That is on FanDuel. You're gonna like if you get off of Jokic, it's probably gonna be a 2v2 somewhere. Because we lost Cat, you can't go to Embiid. That's the first game at lock. Maybe you drop down to a Vooch or somebody like that, J Val, and you 2v2 another spot like a small forward or something like that. But I think Jokic is going to be one of those gut calls early.
Jokic might be a fade. I mean, if I just want to lock in Jonas, Andre Drummond, and Embiid, they all locked before. I mean, does he outscore all 3 of those guys? I mean, very likely, could happen. But I think I just play all those 3 of those guys, hope Jamal Murray plays.
Maybe, but like it's also like I said, there's enough. It's a small enough sample to call it a coincidence that Jokic was not bad, but not like an elite fantasy play. You know what I'm saying? So, I still think he's worth the leap of faith. But 11K essentially on FanDuel, like he's gonna have to probably be the highest score on the slate to really be worth the investment. And not that 50 plus fantasy points, that dog is going to hunt, but is he going to be super, super elite? Like, is he going to leave Zion in the dust for 800 more? And that's kind of what I think you need him to do. So, I don't know, kind of an interesting concept. I think I was probably just 20% it. Does that sound safe, right? Like, I think priority on the slate's elsewhere. So, if I'm at 20% Jokic, whatever happens. That's probably the way I'll accept it. If Kent Bazemore's $5K for you, how much? Because he's 5-2 on FanDuel.
Go easy way out and go like 20%er.
Yeah.
It just depends like how the lineups kind of build out. You're gonna pay up for point guard, like with Fox. You're gonna pay up shooting guard Mitchell, Zion. Those are kind of your three guys to pay up for. He does fit nicely in with them. So
yeah. Obi-Wan says 439 folks ahead of me. Should I drop a G? If you are eligible for withdrawals and you can afford to have $1,000 sitting around for a week or two, the worst case scenario is a quick flip for $700, right? Like you unpack something. You're probably gonna get something worth $1,700. And if you're eligible for withdrawals, you can just quick flip it. You made quick $700. Don't care about what it's priced in 6 months, and then withdraw it. And it's why wouldn't you turn a K into 1,700?
What's in this pack? Is it like an insane LeBron card? That's like 100K.
It's like hollow cards. So I didn't look at what the pack like. So I'm. I play Top Shot, but I'm not like a hardcore like I'm not in it for collection. I'm in it for money, and I think a lot of people are the same thing. So like the risk on losing, like you can't lose money on this pack today. Like if these cards depreciated in value because the whole thing just fell, sure. But like if at the very least, if you have a chance to buy a pack right now, you might as well. And just quick flip it and withdraw it if you're eligible for withdrawal. If you're not eligible for withdrawal yet, it's a tougher decision. I don't want to be the one that gets you sleeping on the couch tonight. But if you are eligible, there's really no reason not to if you have that money expendable. One game left on the docket. Take a pause for the cause. By the way, when I ran the usage and the fantasy point per minute check here, Wiggins, Kent Bazemore. Both about 1.1 fantasy point per minute. Steph Curry, of course, leading the pack here, and Draymond's at 0.8. You feel like there's a case for Draymond soon to kind of go back to that 40-plus fantasy point threshold, and also for Draymond, Eric Pascal is out. So I got Draymond at 34 minutes, but I could see that stretched out even more. And at 6,700 on DraftKings, in a tighter game, I could see 40-plus fantasy points as a range of outcome. So I would probably have some Draymond, like up to 10%, maybe up to 15, something like that, based on where the field ends up. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Dad says, I've been waiting for withdrawals for the past 3 months. Ridiculous, man. That's tough. I understand it's a long process. I'm lucky enough I've already withdrawn months back. But, yeah, it is a process. But I understand every side of that. Like, I understand their side.
Yeah, I understand. Like, they're growing at a rate that they couldn't have imagined. So they're doing their due diligence, trying their best.
Josh says, what's up with Aaron Gordon last few games, even with Murray out? Are you talking about just from, like, a not in your face?
A lot of mouths to feed. A lot of mouths to feed in that team.
There it is. I also, like, and I've said this before, I like Aaron Gordon, but Aaron Gordon is probably overrated, and I mean that with all due respect. The dunk contest just kind of gave him some clout, right? But for the most part, he's just been a Blake Griffin-esque player on a medium to below average Magic team from a basketball standpoint. I think he's fine. I think he's a step up from probably Paul Millsap, but like I also don't think he was like a franchise player type. So maybe that's more of the average range of outcomes for him. Anyway, main event tonight. Got mine. All right, Obi. Yo, Obi, what you got, man? Let me know who you packed. Share the excitement. If you're on Discord, we could have screen shared. Maybe it's too late.
Six-figure hit.
Yeah, hopefully you get something like crazy good, man. Like a one serial. You honestly getting a serial number like 1 is not that hard on these hollows because I don't say not that hard, but it's a lot more likely because of how limited they are. Rockets at the Suns, your main event tonight. Last game on the docket. Before I do that, remind you guys, after the stream, I'll be in the RunDFS.com VIP voice chat, in the RunDFS.com VIP Discord, looking a little something like this. So if you guys sign up, get into the Discord. There'll be a link into the channel or into on RunDFS.com, and you sign up. There's going to be an onboarding thread that'll have access to the MLB, the NBA spreadsheet, and the Discord. It's a double duty night for us. Remember, NBA is a 30-minute after normal lock time, so go check that out. But we'll be here talking every sport in the NBA voice chat. So if you have baseball questions or you just want to talk some baseball, we'll be there. It's gonna be a little bit of a town hall meeting of sorts when it comes to both locks tonight. But you're more than welcome to listen in or chime in or type in chat. We'll try to get everything going. I'm gonna have my player pools for both baseball and basketball set up. I'll have NBA pools for FanDuel and DraftKings, and just in general, like, this is a really good place to be. I talked about it on the baseball stream. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you've seen it. Always be placing, man. One of our OGs yesterday won his second Millie Maker in 5 months. Chat.
That's some goat stuff. Some goat stuff.
Do you know? And it's not even the same sport, Raj. My man won 2 million. Like what? Like what? But the reason I bring that is so look, in December 6th, I think he won the NFL Millie Maker. This one right here, boom, the homie, always be placing. $1 million December 6th. We were stoked. We were happy, right? That is the Super Bowl, right? That is your Super Bowl championship to win a Millie Maker. 5 months later, a different sport, PGA. He does it again. He said his highest owned player was Hideki.
And I don't know how you guys get to that. Like, I just don't know how he got to that. That's nuts. His highest owned guy is the guy who won the tournament. Pretty wild.
So not only did he win the Millie, but he finished second, fifth, and just a slew of other lines in the top 500.
Oh, I saw his name in like 4th or 5th place in the $20 Millie Maker. Mm-hmm. He almost won 2. He was like 3 points away.
And he said like he was gonna play them all his normal volume, but he didn't. So he had every right to win 2 million yesterday. But anyway, the reason I brought that up, one shout out to him. He's literally a grinder, one of the nicest guys. Like he's he's literally a millionaire, but if you talk sports with him, like, he's gonna ask what you think. Like, he's a cool dude. But the reason I brought it up, Raj, is because like we have millionaires and we have people grinding quarter arcades, we have people grinding single entries, 20 entries. Like, it's everything. Everybody gels just fine. So there is definitely a place for you if you're out there watching in our community. No matter.
Can we take bets as to whether he's going to win his 3rd Millie Maker? I'll win my first next.
Bro, he's got to run the Triple Crown. If they do a Millie Maker for like NBA or something, or baseball, like, he said he's going to max every Millie Maker for the rest of the year at this point. But
why not? Yeah.
Like, I did a video years back on the odds of winning a Millie Maker.
Yeah.
So what are the odds of getting struck by lightning? Right, getting struck by lightning. The odds on that is 1 in 500,000.
Okay.
Some of these Millie Makers have 500,000 entries, right? So it's literally lightning strike odds. My man hit lightning twice.
I think he has an edge on the field. Clearly, I think he has a decent edge on the field. Yeah, so no. Obviously, winning twice is just pretty nuts. I think the most anyone's ever won is 3. I think one guy's won 3.
Is it the record? I don't know. I haven't been tracking it, but holy man,
I think 1 or 2 people have won 3. So if he gets another one,
yeah, he's nuts. He's nuts. But like I say, he's like
tell me you live in a low tax state for whatever he is.
I think he lives in. I don't know where you live. People would be looking for him.
Like a low tax state. Is it a low tax state?
But I just want to say, like, I can't. He's one of the nicest dudes, like, in DFS. Like, he still owns a business, and his day-to-day life is still, like, revolves around his children.
Not gonna quit now or retire or something? I mean, you can just bet that on Bitcoin.
No.
Put $1 million Bitcoin.
We have the crypto channel down here. He's down there looking for advice on crypto investments. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, man, he's just like such a gamer. So he's just getting it done. Anyway, but the whole point of that is, like, no matter your bankroll level, come join the community. Come be part of the fun. Sweat the action when other people win. Because it wasn't but a week or 2 ago, Russell Miller was flirting with a 200K win, right? Like, there's people out here winning all different levels. And if you hit for that quarter arcade, you get that 500-700, I'm gonna be just as happy for you.
My screenshot's coming, guys. Don't worry. You're gonna see my screenshot. It's gonna be a party, straight party. Man, I'm gonna get the camera out, bottles out. Boom.
Main event tonight: Houston Rockets and the Phoenix Suns. Project starting 5 for the Rockets: John Wall, Kevin Porter, Jay Sean Tate, Kelly Olynyk, Christian Wood, taking on Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Jay Crowder, and DeAndre Ayton. A 229 is our total. 12 points spread in favor of the home team, Phoenix Suns. So kind of the lackadaisical game to end the slate, where you don't have a lot of high-centric interest in the Rockets. I'll say, is it time to start thinking about Kelly Olynyk on a daily basis? I've scripted a couple of slates in the last week where I didn't catch main slate lock, and I'd lose out on the first couple games of chalk, and I always end up with more Kelly Olynyk than I ever feel like I should. And then every time, he just comes through. He hasn't dropped you less than 30 fantasy points in 5 games straight. So tougher matchup. In this Phoenix Suns matchup earlier this month, he dropped 30 fantasy points. So maybe look at Kelly Olynyk as maybe a late night hammer candidate. I hate that he's center only on DraftKings, but I'll tell you what, today we can give up that center spot since we lost a couple of the viable ones. On the Suns side, Chris Paul's 8'8", 8'4", Devin Booker's 9'4", 9K. It's hard to justify those guys pre-flop comparative to the Fox, the Donovan Mitchell, and you mentioned Zach LaVine, and then DeAndre Ayton 7'7", 6'9". There's not a whole lot of tier 1s and probably not any tier 2s in this game, but is there anything specific that you probably land on that maybe I brushed over?
I mean, I think you covered him. I think John Wall's intriguing. Again, point guard's just so strong, but he's an intriguing tournament guy. Just a guy who's going to play up against good teams, coming off essentially back-to-back 50 bombs, back-to-back 30 real-life points. So John Wall, I think, is in play. Am I really going to get to Christian Wood today at the power forward center spot? Probably not. He's hasn't flashed a lot of upside since returning from injury. Jayshawn Tate's been pretty kind of consistent, but he's been priced up to where you need those 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I mean, in the Phoenix side, should be a good matchup for them. I mean, DeAndre Ayton at 6,900 is another intriguing center option. Past 4 games, 46, 45, 36, 36. You definitely want the 45 here, which is possible. No one there to guard him at his height. Probably not get any Chris Paul or Devin Booker. I mean, there's no way I get to Devin Booker with Fox and Mitchell there at the same price.
Right.
It's. I mean, you could fade this game. I think you'd be okay. But I think John Wall and Ayton are intriguing.
I always feel like we always kind of mention John Wall, but I never act on it.
He's been fine the past 2 games. I don't know if he's been in winning lineups, but
I can live without it. So I think it's a little bit of Olynyk for me. That's maybe Ayton. Maybe Ayton's another name that's just kind of flying under the radar. If you just look for a stock and stuffer to get you 30, I think Ayton could accomplish that. If you look at what he did against Houston a couple games back, he dropped 46, and he's dropped you 35 or more in 4 games straight here. So yeah, maybe Ayton I'm sleeping on 6,900. Mm-hmm. I kind of want that 40 side, but the matchup's fine for 40.
Well, that's intriguing. He's actually been really good. Center only is kind of tough on DK, but I feel like he has to have a pretty good game for this game to be close.
Yeah. Let's get caught up on chat. Chat, any lasting questions, comments, concerns, drop them in chat now. I tell you what, I don't have an obligation to be in voice chat for another hour, but I could use this hour to get ahead on my baseball stuff. If you guys are just here for NBA, you haven't tried MLB, I think we have a pretty good MLB product as well in rundfs.com. The spreadsheet for MLB kind of simplifies a lot using advanced metrics, but still allowing the everyman to kind of check out the slates and understand what's a good play, what's not a good play. And then, of course, my player pool. If you guys didn't catch it, I still don't know how you did that, but whatever. I
caught the home runs from the Red Sox too. It's a sad part. Okay, well they came through, but Trevor Williams did not.
Yeah, but I mean, pitching was bad anyway. But yeah, if you guys want to try baseball and you haven't already, I'm kind of okay at baseball. I think I'm getting more known for baseball than any other sport, but I don't get the views for it. Now I'm getting all these Twitter follows and DMs because of the Osmo deal. It's just people are just I was hey, I still know basketball and football, guys, but baseball's my favorite. So I DM away. I'm not upset, but Discord, waiting on you guys. I'll be there in at least an hour. I might pop in a little early. Old lady's not here. Maybe order me a Subway, munch on it, get something going. But if you guys got any lasting questions, comments, concerns, throw them at us. Raj, you got any hot takes tonight?
Oh, it's a hot take. Maybe Brandon Ingram outscores Zion.
Okay. I don't think it's that. 10K Zion, man. You're allowed to see it. Yeah, I don't think I have a scorcher myself.
I feel like he should be like rebounding, getting like 15, 20 rebounds a game, but even in big games, sometimes he only gets like 8 rebounds. Weird.
I think I might be solo in this Bulls Grizzlies game, and like kind of scares me now, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, chat, I appreciate you guys making part of my day. Be part of your day as usual. I'll be in the Discord probably 30 minutes to 40 minutes. If you guys got any questions for me, hit me up on Twitter, twitter.com/GundackerSports. Gundacker. I forgot we changed it. And if you need some help onboarding or getting into VIP, or if you had any questions what VIP is, twitter.com/Gundacker. That's where you guys can get it going. Cameron Payne, value play of the day, hot take. Okay, I can feel it. Otherwise, looks like I'll be back tomorrow. I don't know what the schedule is, but we'll be back tomorrow. It looks like when I'm not obligated elsewhere, you might expect a 1 p.m. Eastern MLB stream from me and a 3 p.m. Eastern NBA stream from me. So if you guys want to keep baking that into your schedules, yeah, tomorrow's 6-gamer. Ooh. So we'll be good to go. Would you play Tobias? Probably not. That's going to do it for me, guys. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I hope you crush it tonight. Good luck. God bless. And go win some money. Peace.